Good evening, welcome back to another Friday. My name's Danny, says it right down there at the bottom of the screen, and this is the Easy 8's online painting club. Already you can see that we've got a couple of people, or just one person over there in the live chat at the moment, Stafford. Good evening all. Hi Stafford, how's it going? Yay, he remembered how to start this time. Yes, this week I have actually remembered to select the right option when going live. Last week it was a bit of an embarrassing start, half an hour into the 2-hour show before someone had come to notify me that I hadn't actually set the right option. So I was broadcasting, just no one was watching and they were all waiting on a different listing. It was a little bit embarrassing, but you know, it was one of those things about having a live show. I'm only human and sometimes I'm gonna make mistakes. Also was quite busy, so yeah, just wasn't really kind of like thinking properly. Luke Gallia, a classic Easy 8. Hi Luke, welcome back to the show, man. I had a little bit of time off for a while. I've absolutely missed you on the show, as that's probably everybody else over there in the live chat. Nice to see you again. I hope you're doing well. If you are new here to Easy 8, this isn't a tutorial channel or anything like that at all. There's a load of that already out there on the internet. This is merely a painting club where you can come and join me live or watch it retrospectively. Excuse me, I had a bit of chocolate before the show started. You can watch me live or retrospectively, join in with these crazy guys over here, or just kind of put some comments down just down there if you're watching later on. Just so we can come and paint your miniatures and kind of, you know, just share in the fact that it takes us a long time. It certainly takes me a long time. I'm still painting these Rangers. It's getting a bit ridiculous. So yeah, if you want to get your stuff painted with a bit of live company, please come along and join me and these guys over here in the live chat and tell us what it is that you're doing this evening. I would love to know what you are painting this evening. So if you're watching right now, you know, you can drop it in over there if you want to. My phone's in the way. I'll make a gesture over the top. You can drop it in over there if you like. Or you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. Excuse me. Or if you really want to, you can come and join me at Discord on the Easy 8 After Party. And the links to all of these places just up there are all down there. So if you fancy coming and joining us, that would be great. If you like what we do, maybe drop a like, maybe follow, or even better, subscribe to this channel, because that really helps me out a bunch. And it's great. And as John Takax from Out of This World Models and Minis pointed out the other day, 63 on a bit of a roll. Actually, John, we went up to 64, but then someone pulled out, which is fine. It's not for everybody. But if you do like what we do, yeah, subscribe. That would be great. Hit the little bell icon so if I make a mistake like last week, you're not going to miss it. Yeah, there you go. There's my 2 pence worth. What am I doing today? Still painting these Rangers. I think it'll probably be the last week that I paint them, even if I don't finish them off. Big question mark over the top of that. But what we'll do, I'll take you over to the workbench now so you can see what I'm doing. The camera looks like it's working. The camera is working. It did glitch a couple of times. I was doing some setup stuff earlier on. Luke says 3 guesses what I'm doing. Guess right and get a few cat minis. Yeah, that's right. Luke's been painting these little miniatures like little knights in armor dudes, but they're actually cats. It's a bit weird, but they are insanely cute. 3 guesses what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So either you're painting a Sisters of Battle miniature or miniatures, you're painting a knight, or you're painting cat minis. Those are my 3 in that order. Cool. So yeah, I haven't, if you read the listing of what I've put up this week, I haven't done anything this week at all. The busy period at work is starting to come to an end now. I've got 1 more week starting tomorrow of the busy time, and then it's just all going to wind down. We're still going to be busy, but not like insanely busy like we have been. I've worked for where I work for 15 years and I've never known it to be completely bonkers like it has been now. It's just been insane, and we've just all been, you know, I did a 55-hour week last week, and I did 3 days in a row where I think I only had about 3 hours sleep in the middle of them all. I went a bit mental. But you know, it's what I do. I do love it. It's just very, very demanding, so unfortunately haven't been able to do anything on these. Also, if you remember, for the last 12 months specifically, but for the last 2 years I've been studying to do my exams, and I got my results yesterday. I passed. No music. I passed. I got the highest grade that I could get. Not the best score that I've got, but it's still got the highest grade, so work was starting to interfere with it, and it got a little bit difficult. But yeah, so that's another weight off my shoulders, which is just brilliant. Blightforge have come to join us. Let me know when you're ready to take on my death god. You know what? Absolutely. As I was just saying, yeah, now that work is starting to get a little bit easier, yeah, damn straight, I'll be over there. Blightforge, thanks for coming along, man. Thanks for coming to join the show. It's been really nice to see some, you know, not so recently familiar names on the live chat there. Yeah, so here are my miniatures. Last week I started to do a little bit of washing on the orange. I like to do just like a little bit of a filter over the orange. It does go a bit patchy, and I'm okay with that. The reason I like it is that this orange, if you don't do it, is bright. It's a little too bright, and it's a little bit toyish. So I like to dull it down a little bit. It's without going into the realms of grimdark. It just kind of grimdarks them down a little bit, if you know what I mean. And I didn't want it to be too over the top. But what I do want to do, what I do, is to try and get a bit more shading in like the creases and the ruffles of his cloak, etc. This one was just done with a quick filter last week. These have still yet to be done. I have realised that on this one I missed a little bit of gold here, which I've got to do, which is fine. And I also managed to overpaint there's a little bit of gold on this black hose here, which I'm not entirely happy with. But that's just a very, very quick spot job. This guy here has got a little bit left to do on his backpack. I think what I was going to do is maybe paint this bit either leather. See if I can come a little bit, get the autofocus working. Autofocus. There it is. So either paint this little like piece of material here leather. I might paint it orange, but there might be a bit too much orange going on. Or I could paint it red. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with it yet. Any suggestions during the show, I'm all keen to hear. And I've still got to do some little bits and pieces on his backpack, this one and this one here, because these are the special weapons dudes. I just want to put a bit of gold on this one, just to kind of bring a little bit of attention to the details that are on there. Don't have to go completely mental. But yeah, I think that'll be quite nice to do. With the weapons being all glowy and shiny and things, I've got a tiny piece of wire in my arm there. I was doing some wire brushing a little while ago. What I wanted to do with these two guys is obviously do the glowing effects on their guns, and I'd be really quite pleased if I can get there tonight. This is one of the things that if I come back and do these guys a bit more on the show, it'll be doing glowing effects on them, because today I just really want to get all of the cloaks up to standard. There's a few like purity seals on them which I could do at the same time, because I use the same colour for washing them. So yeah, that's where I sit with that at the moment. It would be really cool to do some glowy effects tonight though. I'm still very nervous about doing them. I've decided that I'm going to have a go at purple on the arc rifle, because purple for me is lightning. That's just the colour I've decided to do. And then on the plasma gun here I'm going to do blue. I've decided that these little canisters on the side, whatever they are, I'm going to paint those blue like they're glass or transparent with plasma energy inside them, because, you know, sci-fi reasons. And also on the back of this backpack here, he's got these 3 canisters here. Now, I was thinking, wouldn't it be really cool to add a bit more glowy effects on the backpack to make it look like that there's more stuff? But this is a plasma caliver. I don't really know much about the lore behind the design of this weapon, but I think it's supposed to be a little more flamethrowery. It's got a little ignition switch here, it's got like a little tube that comes out and says hello. Is it igniting plasma in a way that's different from normal plasma weapons in this sort of universe? I don't really know. So one of my suggestions to myself is that I could paint these blue as well, or maybe I could do them in a way that kind of identifies them as like another fuel source. Maybe. Be kind of cool, right? So some additional stuff to do on there. When I do all the glowing stuff, I'm going to do their eyes on there as well. Luke says, a side note, they look amazing. They pop so much. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. As I've been painting them, what is transpired to be is that the metal, the silver, has really popped, the orange has really popped, and the purple overalls has really popped as well. It wasn't a deliberate thing, but all 3 kind of go like, wow, and you can see these colours. Normally it's like one sort of main colour that stands out, and then you can see some lot of details. For example, Blood Angels being red, they might have different colour helmets and things like that, or Ultramarines predominantly blue, but they have a lot of white trim and details that kind of stands out. But these ones from a distance are really quite gregarious in their colours. Don't know if that's the right word to use, but it's on the internet now forever and ever. So there we go. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to sit here and just wash all these cloaks down, and then I'm going to go over and do a little bit of sort of detail repair, etc. Cool. What Luke goes on to say, not doing a sister, not tonight, and not a 50mm cat mini. Also, well done on the GCSE. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm really proud of myself. I never did very well. Not saying that I didn't do well at school. I wasn't an academic individual. I did get nothing below a D when I was doing all my exams back in those days, a million years ago. But I didn't get anything higher than a C, so I was very, very middle road. And maths, I wasn't happy with the D that I scored, and I went and did a resit, and I got a few points higher, 2 points more, 1 point away from a C. And they said, well, you can challenge it. I was like, you know what, I'm just done with it. So yeah, I decided in my adult years, nearly sort of 25 years on, to come back and have another go. And I still found it challenging. There's a lot more than what there used to be all those years ago. But I want to just do more. I'm just really enjoying learning. It's been a really nice journey. I met some wonderful people on the way. It was great, really good. Luke says, so I'm breaking down a few boxes because there's some good on them for some house billboard making. Oh, okay, yeah. And they have some thin MDF on them, so bonus. Yeah, anything like that, I save it. My partner goes mental. If I start saving boxes or cardboard, breakfast cereal boxes of a specific brand that I won't mention on X, I don't know if I should, but they're just really, really good. If you want to know about those brands and other materials that I save, come and join me on the Discord show afterwards, and I'll tell you all about it, and I'll let the cats back in. Cool. So anyway, I'm going to get straight on over here. Done this guy here. Should I do the gold bits now, because I can do it all in one go? Yes, I will. I will do those gold bits now. I'm just going to get rid of that cat hair. Let's move you over here and you over here. You can go over here. You need a little bit of gold. I'm going to go to my number 0, Raphael Kalinski. And I'm going to get a little bit of glorious gold. I'm so happy you guys have all come to join me today. Luke and Blightforge and Stafford. Lovely. And anybody else that's watching, welcome to the show. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Been talking to some of the guys in the community recently as well about going back to Bovington Tank Museum for an Easy 8 road trip. If you are, even if you're not local, you're welcome to come along and join us. We got quite a few of us last time together. About 6 or 7 of us all went. We had a bit of an Easy 8 road trip, and we went to the Tank Museum for the Southwest Model Show, and we'd all decided that actually we want to go back again and just pay even more attention to the tanks that a lot of the model show was in the way of. So yeah, we are starting to plan another day for that. Let me bring this light in a bit closer. Here we go. So if you are interested in joining me, some of the other community, some others in the community, sorry, and going to the Tank Museum in the southwest, just a little bit down the road from where I live actually, in the neighbouring county of Dorset. Oh my goodness, what a great start, dropping all over the place. It'd be great to have more of the community to come along. Now, like I said, once I get this week out of the way at work, it's going to be great. I'm going to have a lot more time. There's obviously going to be a little bit of cooling down. I'm still going to be working. I've got a few days of where there are no guests coming into work, because I work in hospitality. Venture hospitality, residentials with children. And yeah, there's a few days where there's no one coming in, so I can get a lot of stuff done. Gonna have a big blowout party with my staff because they deserve it. They've all worked excessively hard. I was going to say incessively? I didn't even know what I was going to say. And then we can start looking to getting on with some more model stuff and more Easy 8 stuff. So if you want to come along to that, let us know and I will arrange everything for everybody. Great time last time. We saw some really cool models, and yeah, and some wonderful people that were painting some really cool stuff. But we all really enjoyed the Tank Museum as well, and of course there's a lot of the model show that was kind of in the way. So yeah, that's no offence to the people that were there with their models. They were wonderful, and it was great to go and see. You know, and if Easy 8 isn't a model show, it ain't nothing. Stafford says, I've dug up my Van Sar and started building. He's getting back into it. He was like, I've fallen out of love with 40k for a little while. But of course, Necromunda is the gateway drug. Excellent. Van Sar, man. Tough opponents, tough opponents. All the gear and every idea. Got this little doobie flidge sticking off the front of the gun here. Should I paint that in gold? It's like a little hand guard. See that? Should I paint that gold? When I washed this gold down last time, lost a little bit of the detail, so I'm just going to go back in there and just pick that back out a bit more. There we go. That's nice. Do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to paint that bit in gold. And you can't stop me. Trying to not handle the miniature as much as, or as little as possible, just because my hands for some reason today are really sweaty. I'm just going to move off camera a little bit to get right under that light. There we go, come back in there. Sometimes I just come in and my hands they just feel a bit greasy. I have to go and wash my hands in the break perhaps. Excuse me. Top tip, don't have chocolates before you go live. It's really croaky. Got a cup of tea here. Slav says, Bovington, when are we going? Good question. Mid to late September perhaps. It is Tiger Day on the 17th, which is my dad's birthday. I did take him to Tiger Day on his birthday a few years ago. We had a wonderful time. It was really, really good. And it's like a normal Tank Fest day where they bring all the tanks out. But on Tiger Day, you get to see the tiger, which they don't bring out all the time because, well, it's an artifact, I suppose, and it would be bad to always bring it out because it would break down. So yeah, they brought it out, and it was cool. But the thing is, the show is so long that you kind of miss out on decent museum time. So I'm saying to all the guys, let's go on another day. Also, because we went the last time, we have annual tickets, and they don't apply to Tiger Day because it's such a special event, which is fair. So I'm just going over this gun here. This is while I've got the gold out. Just picking out a few more details because there's so much silver on them. It is nice to break it all down. There are lots of tiny little pipes and things all over these miniatures. I think it's brilliant. But you've got to look really carefully to kind of identify them. Once you pick them out, they really stand out. I don't know if that's a pipe in there, just looks like a little line that was worth picking out. There we go. Don't know what to do with this little device down here, this little magazine of some sort. I'll leave it for now perhaps. Yeah. Less is more, remember. I like the idea of doing this little bar across these little capsules. I like the idea of doing that in gold, but I'm not going to do that now because obviously I'm just going to probably ruin it when I go over and do my lighting effects later on. Okay, coming back to the arc rifle guy, he's got his backpack here. So like I said, I've got a few details on here that I've got to choose to pick out. I'm not entirely sure what to do. It's got a couple of little pipes or something here. Going in quite rough because, like I said last time, these are my rank and file guys. I don't really want to spend too much time doing them. That's why it's taking me so long, I suppose. Just realised it's got a little pouch on the side there, so I might do that in a fabric colour later. On the tops of all of my backpacks, I always do these little details here. I'm not entirely sure what they are, but I like to do them in gold. Just pick those out. I have just painted the side of that antenna there in gold, which is stupid, but I was able to take that away with my fingertips. That's lovely. Just looking at this here, any details here that I think will be good in gold. Maybe I'll do the whole top thing of this. Should I? Do you know what? Let's be bold. Let's go in, let's do it. Too much silver. There's a little bit of trim on there that I want to keep silver because it's nice to separate the details. So Luke, I'm really keen to learn what it is that you're if you're actually painting anything tonight. You say you're breaking down some boxes, but are you actually painting anything? That looks okay. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Making sure that I'm not missing any bits of it out. I have just run out of gold paint, which is a little bit of a nuisance. Let me just get a bit more in there. Where's my gold? What did I do with it? There it is, I see it. Just another drop in there. Lovely. Cool, and that should be that for the gold, apart from one more thing. It is on one of the curlies, the curly whirly bits. Where is it? So this one here has been painted. It had to be the last one, didn't it? Of course it did. Here it is. So just here. This is one of those little details that I really struggle to get accurately, but actually you don't have to be that good with it, because from a distance it stands out, because I've chosen to do it on a black background essentially. It's a bit rough and ready, but I think it does the job. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool, happy with that. We'll need a little bit of neatening up with some black, but I'm going to do that now on the other guy anyway, and then I can get onto washing these bad boys. And I'm hoping that they'll really sort of blend in with these ones here, because obviously these were my first ones that I painted. They are going to be different. There's some awful travesties of, you know, events going on down here at the bottom end where I just went too heavy with some Agrax Earthshade and I just ruined it. And also, like I've said before, the overall colours are just a lot more faded, and I don't really know why that, you know, what choice of colours I did differently. As far as I'm aware, I've done these exactly the same, but they just came out so much more stark. So there's going to be some differences. They are a part of the same squad, but hey ho, move on with yourself, right? That's a good cup of tea. Luke says, as I only have 4 more staples to remove, I believe so. Okay. I am partway through painting an Imperial Assassin Vindicare. Yay, phonetic spelling. I'm trying to push myself a little bit on this one. Okay, cool. Do you know what? I really like a Vindicare Assassin, and I'll be really interested to see yours as it goes. If you do want to have photos, for anybody out there, photos of your stuff, there is a mentions tab on the Facebook page where the whole community can just kind of get involved. A little while ago, Jeff Lacey, my dad, who runs Purple Line Creations, has been putting a load of stuff up there and said yesterday that there was some problems posting. If there are problems, do let me know. Drop a message on there somewhere, or drop me a line either here on YouTube, over on Discord, or if you can somewhere on Facebook. I read everything that comes through Easy 8, so if you are struggling, I can try and help you work through it or solve the problem. Like last time, there was a time a little while ago, I think Facebook were updating a few things, and it did cause some problems in the community. So yeah, if you want to put some photos up of your stuff, I'd love to see it. I'm genuinely inspired by all of your stuff, and that's a great thing for this show is inspiration. I think that there's nothing better. Where am I going? I'm going for black, aren't I? Black, here we go. You'll notice, Steph, that I'm not using the Wazomatic right now because I'm using just such small quantities right now. I didn't think it really matters. But yeah, I do like to mix my paints up. Give them a good old shake. There's not much point right now. Yeah, and yes, you can say it. Right, where is that guy with the pooed up pipe? There it is. So, just a little bit of gold, just a bit of overspill. When I was painting the pipes in there, but no big deal. Do a little bit of cleanup, there we go. Is there anything to do on this guy? No, he's pretty clean. Wonderful. Lovely. Wicked. Boo, I said you can say it. It's fine. I'm just not using it right now. That's all, man. What colour should I do a little piece of fabric on the back of this guy's backpack? Could do it the same colour of his overalls, but I think that might break it all up a little bit too much. I don't know. Anyway, tea. Okie dokie, let's go to some Seraphim Sepia. I am going to give this a little bit of a shake and a waz, just because I don't know if there is much of an element to pigment. It's like you'd find normally in the paint, but there has to be, right? There has to be like a little bit of pigment in the medium. I am looking forward to going to get the new recipes of... My light was falling apart with the vibration. I'm looking forward to getting the new recipes for all of the Citadel washes, especially for Moln Oil, because from what I've been seeing on other YouTube channels, it looks to be an amazing version. It's just a new recipe, and it's just works so much better. From what I've seen, it looks great. So that can only mean good things, surely, for Seraphim Sepia and all of them really. And I do like washes. I've only got a little bit left in here. So I don't really mind if I end up wasting this and not using it ever. Wazomatic, there you go. So, literally, just straight from the pot, I think. I'm just going to kind of go in all over. It doesn't really matter if I get it on the gold too much. I have already done it on the gold. I'm not entirely sure why I did that. I don't mind a little bit of pooling, especially down at the bottom. It will help with the general weathering effect. That's fine. But I'm trying to avoid heavy spots where like tea staining or coffee staining might occur. That would generally be bad. I'm going to get this little purity seal at the same time because it is the colour that I use for it. So there we go. Nice and simple all over. Washes look, also known as look good sauce. Yeah, it took me a long time to use them correctly. So for many years before I was doing Easy 8, I was just sludge washing everything, thinking that was the easy, good way to paint. It is a way to paint, but I think there's a little bit more to it than just sludge washing. And like you say, you know, sometimes if you just want to just get some stuff done, it's a great way to do it. Sludge wash it. But sometimes you want to push yourself a little bit, don't you? See, what I did wrong with these guys the last time was use Agrax Earthshade as like the heavier staining at the bottom of the cloaks. But actually, I should have just done a heavier wash and just tried to avoid pooling or tea staining, you know. Kind of like what's going on there now. This is perfect. It's really nice to see them coming along. It's really nice to know that we're getting there. Do I want to put sepia on the red? What did I do with these ones? Did I? I'm just gonna. I think I did Hagrax in there, but I think I'm just gonna. Shall I leave it? Should I leave the red? Let's have I put some seraphim in there. Just put a little bit of seraphim in here. See what happens. Don't tell anybody. Shh. I don't know what it's done, if it's done anything. But okay. I'm just going to pop this bad boy down. And he is a bad boy. I've just realised I overused that sentence. Bad boys. I'm not singing the song, get over it. Okay, onto this guy here. Final staple. Wow, they are stubborn. Is that those really huge, thick brass staples that hold cardboard boxes together, like the industrial strength ones? I know of which you speak. I took some apart at work a few weeks ago. And it took a lot of equipment and effort. And Arnold Schwarzenegger movie quotes. Good at doing Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions. Not live on air though. Not for the whole internet to ridicule me. Or to upset Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is a bit of a hero of mine. It's a little bit heavy. there just trying to pick that away. With a brush that's actually completely loaded with the colour is actually quite difficult to do. Clever me. Where I've put Seraphim over the gold here, it's actually dulled it right down, so later on I can come back in, probably right at the end of the whole project, and any gold that looks like it's just toned right down, I can just come in with a quick edge highlight or something. But free wood, 1.5mm is free 1.5mm wood. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, you say here. They are. I now have a small pile of them on my desk. Yep, free wood is free wood. I like it around Christmas time when you get the little tangerines or the clementines, and they often come in little MDF boxes. It's a great source of hobby material because MDF is expensive, man. Cool, there's another one down. Brilliant. Joe, I honestly don't know why it takes me so long to get through these guys. I know I'm only doing 2 hours a week on them at a moment, but it feels like I've been painting these guys for an utter lifetime. It really does. And I want to apologise to the Easy 8 community for just constantly painting the same thing over and over again, where you guys tune in religiously for, you know, support and entertainment, hopefully. But all I do is sit here and paint the same miniatures over and over again. I know that some of you that watch out there are pros, you have your own painting services, and you're way better than me, but thank you for being patient with me. I would love to know your secrets for how you improved over the years. Is that improvement in technical skill? Is it in speed? Would you kind of consider speed of painting to be a technical improvement? Because I suppose in a way it might be. Interesting theory, Danny. Yeah, I just like, why am I still doing this set of 5 miniatures? It's ludicrous. I've got so much stuff to paint, and I ain't getting anywhere fast. And a friend of mine has recently told me that they're going to give me probably all of their collection, of which they have hordes and hordes. They've recently come into hard times, which I am really sorry for. They're probably going to have to like move house, which is really sad. And where they're going to go, they don't know if they're going to have enough space for everything. And when I say that this person has hordes, I mean they must have like dividends or something within the company. They must have, yeah, they have their own warehouse in their house. And I said, like, you know, you can just probably like take most or if not all of my miniatures. I was like, dude, I'm not going to take all of your stuff. Like, you have to have some of it, surely. Like, thank you very much for trying to give me all the stuff. But what I said what I'll do to you or for you is that you sort your life out. I will take all your stuff and I will put it into storage. But maybe I will use it and play games with it, and I'll look after it and treat it as if it was my own. And then when you are ready, you can come back and collect it, and it will always be yours because it's your stuff, man. But thank you very much for considering for me to be the person that you were going to give it all. But I literally have not got the time in my life to paint everything. I wish I did, but you know, I'm not one of those YouTubers that's going to give up my day job because I love my job so much. I just couldn't live without it. So it's not like I can make myself go to this as a job, although I did think about it. But there's so much stuff to paint, and frankly it's a bit embarrassing that sometimes I'm still painting the same thing over and over again. So if, like I say, if you're a pro, like there's Blightforge minis out there as well, how do you just get through? How do you keep on? I'm better now than I ever used to be as well, and I still struggle. Struggling to get the colour to sit in those little grooves on this backpack here. I'll have to come back and sort that out a bit, I think. It's nice to see it all coming together though. Oopsie daisy. It's been such a long time coming for him. Gonna go back up and do the inside of his cloak again. I imagine the secret to speed is to time yourself, then start to set time limits. Yeah, you're right. I mean, for me, it's probably because I've been working, and it feels like that. Well, I come home from work and I'm just absolutely shattered, and I just do not have the time to then sit down and do some miniature painting. So that is a big part of it for me recently. But I would be a liar if I said that it was just that. On to the last one. I'm just going to wash my brush out because I don't think it's working so well. Time to hoover the dust. Yeah, made a mess of it. Bit of a shake up on the old Seraphim there. And I am going to do one test on. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do like a bit of, like on the one I've already painted where you can see he's already got the filter on him. I'm going to come back and do another and just see how that works. It's getting quite warm in here again. It's been a quite warm day outside today. At least it's not 40 degrees because that was just bonkers. There's no need for that. It feels a bit bizarre going all over this orange with Seraphim Sepia to tone down the orange when a little while ago all I was doing was trying to make the orange as bright as possible, but I was trying to make it opaque, not patchy, knowing that the effect is better for it now, you know. Shaky hands. How's the Van Sar gang coming along, Stafford? Are you making or painting today? Is it, I suppose probably just a making thing today, isn't it? We're having a very enthusiastic conversation the other day about Necromunda. Stafford's a big Necromunda fan, and hasn't played the new version of it since, you know, what, the 90s. That's where I played loads of it with my friend, who is going to be donating me, or likely to be donating me, all of those miniatures. And there's a very, very extensive collection in that of Necromunda stuff, which is why we were talking about it. One of the things that we could possibly do is start a little tournament. So I think that's kind of kickstarted Stafford into thinking about doing a Van Sar gang. Van Sar are very hard. I'm a Goliath fan myself. I find there to be a bit of a orcish sort of joy with them, and who doesn't like playing orcs, right? Okay, that is all of the basic first layer of Seraphim Sepia wash. This guy here was one I did last week and is completely dry, and I'm just going to go over and give him another wash in it. I'm not going to be using Agrax on them. That was the wrong thing to do. You can tell on these guys. This one here actually didn't come out so bad, but look at that pooling down there. Too dark, too contrasty. It just needs a bit more Seraphim is all. But you know, you've got to experiment sometimes, don't you? Stafford says, making tonight, not sure what guns to equip. If you haven't got the rules right in front of you, there is you know, a basic setup to which you upgrade from, so maybe you have got there in front of you. I would just keep it light and simple to start with, because it's a completely new rule set compared to what you're used to. I remember when I started playing the new rules, I had the ability to watch others around me kind of make the mistakes, so I was able to avoid them when I went in, and I just went in with the most basic and most humble of setups. Renderizers, man. Massive, smashy axes. And when you're built like a giant American refrigerator with rolled up carpets for arms, you don't have to worry about it. Seems to be working a treat. Didn't do those purity seals last time, so it's a good opportunity to get in there and do those. Some parts of this cloak that don't actually need a second go. That's fine, that's okay. Really interesting getting all those creases in the elbow though. So just here. Just feathering out the edges there of that colour. You can see it's just kind of made a bit of a coffee stain on there, and that's exactly what I was trying to avoid. I could probably add a little bit of medium on the next one and just see if that kind of does anything for me. And now trying to hide that bold patch where I've sort of washed everything away is going to be quite difficult. Because I've done all the other red bits on the cloaks, I'm just going in, doing this guy as well. Okay. These guys here are almost dry. What I'm doing now really is I'm just looking for any purity seals that I've missed. Orange is looking really good on these. I'm really happy with it. Ah, there's a purity seal in there on his trousers, not proudly displayed on the outside of his coat. You're fired. Stuffer says found a couple of Sigmarines, so built them too. Sigmarines? Oh, you mean like Primaris Marines? If you can hear sneezing in the background, that's my partner who has fallen down a little bit poorly today. Those were some powerful sneezes that I could hear downstairs through a closed door, through noise cancelling headphones. There we go. Yeah, the purity seals here? Nope. One there. Still don't know what to do with this here on the back of his backpack. What do you guys think? Yeah. Stormcast from Age of Sigmar. Yes, yeah, I remember what you're saying. Yeah. I did wonder if that's what you were talking about, but you just called them Marines, and I didn't think it was like you to paint Age of Sigmar stuff. I didn't realise that you were sort of into it, or had interest in it. I don't really want to get into playing the game. I have enough games of that I already play, but I do like the big beasties in it. So if I was to do a miniature from it, it would be like, yeah, the big spider or the wyvern or whatever have you. Okay, that's all I can do on them for the moment. So I'm just gonna kind of just leave them there, I think, for a second, just kind of let them dry out under the lights of the studio, and hopefully I can come back and give them another go, and yeah, I can start getting on with the last few sorts of details and plotting that out really. Maybe I will do one more week of it after today. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm really keen on anybody's suggestions on what to do on the fabric on the back of this guy's backpack. During the break I am going to have a little look to see if I can find any inspiration online, because yeah, I feel that if I paint it orange it's just gonna look a bit too much. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, if I paint it red or blue, I just don't think it's going to go very well. I don't think they're the sort of people to just have like khaki tarp, but maybe khaki is a good colour to use. I've got a khaki. Let's give that a bit of a waz on the Wazomatic there. Wazomatic. Maybe khaki is a good colour to go. What do you think? Anyway, what we'll do is we'll just take a quick 10-minute break. So if you are painting or if you're working away over there, you should definitely go and change your paint water. See you in a minute. Bye. Wazomatic! Yeah, that's right. Just mixing up a paint. I've done a little bit of research to see if I can find some pictures of that particular backpack for those Skitarii Rangers, and I couldn't find anything because no one takes pictures of the backs of their miniatures apart from one guy, and it was the wrong backpack. So I decided to just go for khaki colours unless anyone disagrees. I think it might be a really good colour to paint it. Anyway, yeah, welcome back. I hope you had a good intermission. If you are kind of working on some stuff, I'd love to know what it is you're working on. Go put it on Facebook. I've got it right here on my phone so I can see what it is that you're all doing. So yeah, would love to know if you're having successes, if you're having problems. I don't believe in failures. Well, maybe no, I do, because I fail sometimes. But I also did take the time to go and get myself a little fresh washcloth and a dry towel. My hands were so greasy, I was afraid of like wiping details off of my miniatures. I just knocked everything over on my desk there as well. So if my hands kind of get a little bit greasy or a little bit sweaty, then I can just kind of wash my hands down. I know I've never thought of doing that before. So I'm just going to take you straight over to the workbench. Here we go. Camera still working? Yeah, great, cool. So yeah, khaki. I hope this is a good colour to use. I quite like these sorts of colours, all the sandy colours and things. I quite like those. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a good one. So I'm just putting a little dollop of that in the bottom of the palette. And yeah, let's see where this goes. It's quite a thin looking paint by the looks of it, but hopefully with this very bright undercoat here, it shouldn't take much more than a coat or two to do the job. Now I have noticed on this model that there are, well, on all of these Skitarii models, that they have like little straps and stuff on their backpacks, like little leather straps and things. I'm just not bothered about picking them all up because it's not a golden demon contest for me. It is trying to find that balance for what is, you know, being a rank and file miniature. I want it to look good, but at the same time I don't really want to spend a million years on painting it, so I'm not going to sit there and pick all those little straps out. Maybe I'll come back and do them at some point in the future, but there's one here and there's one here, and they've got one on each of the tops of these. Maybe once they're all done I'll come back in and give it a pass, but you can barely see it. So that's a colour that's actually looking pretty opaque there already. I might just do it with one coat. I'll put like a seraphim wash over the top of that. It has got a bit patchy on the cloak down here, but I'm going to do a second pass over these guys, so it'll probably, well, hopefully it'll blend away. At the bottom of this pack here are two clips that look like it might be something to do with this. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. It's like the fact they've kind of got all this cool gear. We do have a little pouch here on the side. I wonder how opaque this is. Remember, I can always come back in with that screaming skull colour to lay down a decent foundation. Do you know what? This is covering over that that silver colour really well. Despite it being a really thin paint. What I am going to do is I'm just going to take a second to just have a little look through all of the other backpacks and just make sure that I'm not missing pouches. I've never noticed it before, but here's some pouches. They're probably on my other miniatures as well, and I feel like if I'm going to do one, I'll do them all. and because it seems to go over metallic rather well, it's not like I'm adding an awfully large timestamp. Cool, huh? Right, there's that. You've got some. I see them here. I suppose even if you're an over-the-top cyborg, you still got to have snack pouches, right? Yeah, you got a pouch. They've all got pouches on the sides of that. How I've never seen this before. Oh my goodness. Out of this world, models and minis. Hello all, I'm going to say hi. We'll catch the replay later when I'm working on my droid, on my Star Wars battle droid. Hi John, this is John from Out of this world, models and minis. If you haven't seen already his channel, you should head on over to his YouTube channel. There is a link in the description of this video. Hi John, thanks for coming along, man. I hope you're well. Saw a little picture that you put up on Facebook earlier on of your droid and its cool thing that it flies around on. I can't remember what you called it now. I don't really know Star Wars very well, so it's not something that comes to my mind very easily. But it's looking pretty epic. Doing some little bits of weathering on it. While we're sitting here talking about John and Out of This World models and minis and going out and checking over his thing, you should definitely go and check out Robert Mannion's Blightforge minis. Robert was at the beginning of the show just kind of challenging me to a game of 40k against his Death Guard. You should definitely go and check out Blightforge minis. I believe there is a link to his studio and his gallery in the link in the description to this video. If there's not, I do apologise, and I will make sure that there is one in a few hours after going off air. I'm not allowed to edit the video immediately. It's just a part of live streaming. So I'll make sure that there is a link. And if you have some stuff that you want painted, Robert's your guy. Blightforge minis. And I know there's a few of you Nurgle and Death Guard players out there, so if you're interested, obviously it's something that I think Rob really enjoys. Got his own army, Death Guard. Yeah, go and have a little look. That's what the show's all about, promoting the works of others. Cool. Don't know what colour to wash that with. Maybe Agrax? I think probably will be good. If I did too much sepia all over these models, it'll just all blend in together. And I want there to be a clear distinction between the fabric of this khaki stuff to the purity seals, which will be a little bit bright, a little bit warmer perhaps. Yeah. Cool. Oops. Just making sure that all those purity seals look good, because when it stains on them it can look a bit naff if I don't do it right. That one there hasn't gone very well, so I'll get back in with a bit more sepia in there. This one here's okay, that's good. Sometimes they have more than one on them. This guy doesn't have any, he must be rubbish. Cool. That is good tea. When I left the studio a minute ago, I had to fight with a little cat to come back in here. You should go and check out the picture on Facebook to see what it is that she likes doing in here. If she's not jumping up on everything and knocking everything off the table, she's just sleeping down there in the corner. But I couldn't trust her while the studio is still a mess. I haven't been up here to clean it up lately. But I will hopefully clean it up soon and let her in during the show. But I do let her in when I go on to Discord, because I'm not so fussed about Discord being such an experience as the show is. So I'll just kind of let her run around and I chase her around a little bit. So you can come say hello to my cat. One of the two, probably both will come up here. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get a bit of Seraphim Sepia in on that Purity Seal there, and then I'm probably going to do a little bit more Seraphim on the rest of their cloaks. Get a little bit of Agrax on these khaki pieces. See how I'm adding more and more work to them. Stop it, Danny. Let's just bring this guy into the middle of the shot here. I don't like the Purity Seals to go completely brown, but sometimes they've got like 2 pages, and I do like the back one to have a bit more shadow on it, and I like to kind of define the line between the 2 of them with Seraphim. I like it to have a little bit of sort of tarnishing, like, you know, when paper goes brown. That's kind of what I like it to do. Like this one here is a perfect example. That is ideal. I'll bring it into shot, shall I? Wait for it to focus. There it is. That is absolutely perfect. In a minute I'm going to hit the rosette with a little bit of red. Wonderful. Okay, do you know what? I'm going to come straight in now with a little bit of Agrax Earthshade just on those khaki bits. Just interested to see how it works. Small brush. Trying to not go too heavy here. I don't want there to be too much attention drawn to it. I don't want there to be any kind of like coffee staining or anything. That's actually come out really quite well. I actually prefer it to my Purity Seals. So I just had a bit of a life-changing experience. Okay, that actually looks really good, and I'm really happy with that. So now I can just go along to all of them. Bit too overloaded there. Sometimes this paint just doesn't sit where I want it to. Doesn't want to go into the creases, the details. Sometimes it just takes putting a little layer down and looking a little bit rubbish, and then coming back and doing another thin layer. Sometimes you have to kind of just put a blob on and then let it evaporate a little bit. I find it very difficult. I've recently discovered panel liners as a specific product from Tamiya, and I am tempted to give that a bit of a go, especially where black is involved. Where I'm doing the silver on all of these guys, and I want there to be some definition in around the details. I don't want to sludge wash with Nuln Oil because A, Nuln Oil is awful, but even with the improved recipe of it, it adds a filter, and so I want it to run into the details, and a panel liner might be the best way to go. Yes, I already use enamel products from AK Interactive to do similar on my tank models, but that's I don't have the right colours for it, and I wonder if the Tamiya ones work differently. You know me though, I do like to try out different products here and there, so maybe it's just a bit of an impulse thing that I've got going on. Maybe I can use AK products for it, but I don't have anything that is black. So yeah, something to bear in mind as I move forwards. Cool, happy with all of that. Now, this guy has had his 2 coats. This guy and all of these ones, I say all of these ones, you can't see them. All of these guys here have yet to have their second go with sepia. So let's get some sepia on the go. Might actually try mixing it with a bit of Lamium medium as well, just so I get that bit more of a filter effect. Let's try it on a different model here. Let's go on to this one. Boss just to put a little layer of Lamium all over his cloak. Okay, something's happening. Seems to work a little bit better. Okay, let's come back to this guy here. I'll just add a little bit of medium to this guy, even though I've already done a little bit to him already. There we go. Maybe I should just start doing all of my weathering with enamels or oil paints. I just love using acrylics. Sometimes I do find it quite restrictive. Like right now, trying to avoid doing or trying to get those sort of tea stains or coffee stains, whatever it is you want to call them, can be really challenging. And even though like acrylics don't dry instantly, they start to cure instantly, and it can be very difficult to affect them once you put them down, especially if you're working in a pretty warm room. Like it is quite warm in here. Not insanely hot or anything, but it does start to make a difference. And for me, the speed of working with acrylics is one of the pros. It means you can just kind of crack on. With oil paints and enamel based paints, there is a certain amount of drying that comes along with it. You have to wait. Just washing my brush and drying it off between each model so that I can go in with a nice bit of fresh Lamy medium and just painting it directly onto the miniature, so that when I put the Seraphim Sepia on there, it's just kind of being painted onto this medium. It kind of runs around a bit freer, keyword. Of course, this is just me making it up as I go along. I don't really know what I'm getting out of it, if it is actually working or not. Yeah. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I succeeded on that one there, didn't I? Okay, cool. So they just need to dry, really, for a minute. Let's see if I can just stand this guy up. Does not want to stand up. Please stand up. There we go. Lovely. Cool. Well, I think that's all of the washing done on them for now. Wonderful. I do have some oil products aside from my enamels, which I use, which I don't think will be appropriate. The enamels are more for like weathering and things like that. But I have got a couple of products. Are they immediately in the drawer? Yes, they are. So I used these ages and ages ago. I'm talking like right back early days. Excuse me, of Easy 8, when Kyle used to co-host with me and we were testing out different products for weathering on a little Terminator model that I had lying around. This is Winsor & Newton. This was £1. It was even less than that. I think it was like 99 pence for a whole tube of good quality oil-based paints. I got this one and so this is black. I also got a brown colour, burnt umber, which is burnt umbers and ochres and things are a couple of really good go-to colours. And this colour, though, is a little bit on the darker side for Seraphim, might be the way to go. Apply, a liberal smear of this onto the cloaks, and then just kind of wipe away using a sponge, leaving behind some some of this colour in the recesses. I've seen it done as a part of grim dark stuff, and though I didn't necessarily want to go too grim dark with these guys, this might be the way forward. I could even use a thinner to thin this right down, and then actually apply it in the same way and just have more working time and less staining. So this might be something I explore moving on with my Skitarii. So yeah, this just leaves a lot of tea staining. It's a beautiful colour. It works really well in some applications, but I think as I'm getting better, I think that I'm probably there's like a subconscious feeling of leaving certain products behind, knowing that they're not working for me, and I'm kind of being boxed in by the use of products that aren't that good, that I thought were good. That's the key factor there. That is a good cup of tea that just keeps on giving. That's great. Okay. So while I'm just waiting for those guys to dry, I'm going to sort of start looking at some purple colours for my arc gun, or my lightning gun as I like to call it. I wanted to do a purple for it, but purple is a colour that I've got very little experience in, or almost none really. This is one of the reasons why I went to use orange for my Skitarii Rangers, was because I've never really used orange very much either. So there are lots of different purples and things that I could use. There are violets and things, which I don't think I want to go into the world of violet. I think I want to use purples. This is the purple that I've got, Warlord purple from Vallejo Gamer. I don't really have an awful lot of use for it, so it would be nice to kind of create something for it. I don't know if this is the right sort of purple. When I was thinking purple in my head, I was probably thinking a little bit darker than this. So I have a couple of other purples to use, but they're not very lightningy. They're not. Oh, just dropped it, but I caught it, and then I dropped it again, and then I caught it again. I've got hexed lichen, which is not. This is beyond violet. This is something else. It's almost like Drucci Violet from the Citadel Game Wash thing. That is very, very dark and probably not what I'm after. And then of course there's Alien Purple, which I'm fairly certain is the colour that I used for my overalls for the Skitarii. Now this I use neat for these guys when I was painting their trousers. But when I painted the other guys, I'm sure I used this colour. I wonder if I just kind of mixed it down with white 50-50 or something like that perhaps. Again, still not a very interesting colour. And though with these guys I washed it with blue, it has changed the colour ever so slightly. I don't want this colour to be... I don't want to be too close to the colour on the arc gun. So takes me back to this colour here. Is this a good colour to use? It's very, very pink, and I don't have any other purples, and I do like to use things straight out of the pot. I just don't know. So that's something for me to experiment with and kind of mix colours and play with them and things. I just don't know what to do. What I do know, of course, what I'm going to do is paint the area white and then kind of wash down with these colours, or whatever colour it is that I do use. I've seen videos of people do glowing effects in the past. I've not done anything with it myself, so it's going to be a fun thing to do. I'm just currently looking through all my blues because I want to do glowing light effects on that. I've got ultramarine blue, I've got imperial blue, but I think that's very, very dark. It's almost navy, well, it is navy. I don't think I really want to go down that road at all. And then I've got these blues here. Now this one's quite a nice blue, this electric blue. It's quite bright, and I think I've used this one and ultramarine blue for glowy lights in the past for their eyes. I've just kind of painted them white, made a watery mixture of this, dropped it in, and just kind of left it to filter and stain, and it's worked really well. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what colours I'm going to use here. Maybe a mixture of all of them. Perhaps I'll just end up using ultramarine blue and kind of using white to highlight as well. Who knows? What I do know is that I really want to get my skills up to scratch and do some really good lighting effects. I don't want to go as far as doing like an OSL all over their body. Sometimes you see people like doing glow effects all over their faces and chests and things. If I did that, I think I would probably be biting off more than I can chew right now, but also all the cool details that are on there, I don't really want to lose them just yet. So I'm just going to do the glowing effects around the gun here, for example, and then on the arc rifle. Yeah, just around here. I might do a little bit of overspill around it actually on the gun itself, but otherwise just keeping it kind of low key for now while I just kind of learn a new skill. So, well, while I'm kind of waiting for various bits and pieces to dry on some of these models, this guy here is almost completely dry. He's got a couple of patches on him. I'm going to be really, really careful. I'm just going to start painting the white on him to kind of create that area of glow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with some dead white. Just going to give that a good old mix here. I don't know how good the pigment is on this. Obviously I use Screaming Skull as one of my base layers to kind of paint pigments over the top of. like greys or blacks or silvers and things. I don't know if this is going to have good coverage. Maybe it will. If it does, that'd be brilliant. I have used it in the past and I can't remember how good it is. I will move into a different part of my palette here. If it's a really weak pigment, then I know that I can use Screaming Skull and then paint this over the top of it. Let's see how good the stuff is. Do you know, it's not bad. White has come a long way since the early days, hasn't it? Those of you that have been painting for a long time will know exactly what I'm talking about. White was an awful colour. Now I could get into the world of like intensity inks and things like that, which a lot of the tutorials I've been watching for OSL have been suggesting or using. They are extremely opaque, they are very, very rich, but I think I just need to have a practice with my standard acrylic colours before I kind of get into all of that jazz just yet. This is actually coating really, really well, and it's a nice and thin paint because it is designed for the airbrush. I will go over with a second layer because I do want it to be as bright as I can, because it's going to mean that when the colour goes over the top of it, it's going to look really, really nice and clear. Just making sure that I'm in shot there. There we go. Is anybody watching live, has anybody done, or watching retrospectively, has anyone ever done OSL attempts before? Have you been met with success or failure? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Okay, I'm going to wash my brush out. Oh, Luke says, I've done a little OSL. How did you find it, sir? Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it successful? There's a little bit just at the bottom down here where I can't quite get the paint in, and if I try and push it with the brush, I risk getting it all over the sort of edge colour there. So what I'm considering doing in a minute is just watering down my white and just kind of inking it in. In the background, you might hear my cat outside the door. I said I will let her in the Easy 8 after party after the show. So if you want to meet my cat is called Binka, and her brother, who I think that might actually be her brother Dax, might come in and mess stuff up. he's the talker. That's actually a really good coverage of white there. Really happy with that. Going to move over to this bad boy. He's actually got quite a bit of wet on the back of his cloak, so I'm going to be really careful there. Oh, Luke says he's done it by airbrush. Easy. Warpstone. Brush for a fast effect. Middling. Oh, for fire. Okay, cool. My airbrush is a little bit abused, and it can be very hard to control the rate that it comes out of. So if I was just kind of like doing really accurate spray bits, it would, I know that I'd go and I'd just cover the whole thing. So I'm very nervous on that. I am feeling quite brave going into this new technique, because it's been a while since I've actually kind of seen any sort of tutorial on it as well, so I feel a little bit unprepared for it, but I quite like that. I'm a firm believer in learning a better lesson when you get things wrong, but from time to time it is nice to get stuff right the first go and just to never have to learn by making mistakes, because you just, yeah, it's just so good. But that is not me, unfortunately. Is looking pretty cool. Got it pretty close to the edge on that side there, but can't seem to get it on that one there. Must be the angle that I'm coming at. So I'm just going to wash the brush out and I'm going to water it down. Now, do I water it down with medium or do I water it down with water? I think medium. Place to start, right? Is it? No, surely water. I'm going to start with water. That's what I'm going to do. But first of all, Chris the Wolf has joined us. Mistakes on easy, eh? Nah. Hi, Chris. Thanks for coming along, mate. Nice to see you again. Yeah, I never make mistakes. I never miss. What? All the time. All the time. That's watered down plenty right there. Okay, back to the lightning gun. I keep calling it the lightning gun. It is actually an arc rifle. I just like the sound lightning gun. I think it might even have to be even waterier than that. We're still getting some good coverage on the top there. Okay, let's add a bit more water. Now it's working. Yeah. God, I'm clever. Now I did want some overspill, but I'd just like to control my paint really. There we go. I'll come back to that one again in a second. It's looking really nice and bright there. Really happy with that. This one here's going to be a bit more tricky. Again, I do want some overspill, but I just feel it's important for me to learn how to control it a bit better. That's running all the way around those cracks in there. Lovely, lovely. Come back in with some thicker paint in a minute and just stop it from being so patchy. Interesting that white covers over the blacks and the metallics really well, but orange. Ugh. I said I was also going to do these ones here, didn't I? Yeah. They're definitely going to need another go over. That was very watery on there. I just popped it on there to get it straight into all the cracks straight away. That's fine. Right, cool. You just stay there. Don't fall over, please. Let's just wash my brush out again. Cool glowy effects. Chris says, yes it is, the one with stupid comments from the background. Yeah, the very Chris. Luke says, but some of the best quotes. Thanks man, appreciate that. You are the guy that quotes me though, you are the quote machine. I just say things and you remember the things that I say. There's a whole list of quotes from the show that Luke has compiled on Easy 8 Discord. So yeah, if you're interested, go and have a look. I've had a couple of laughs. Right, just a bit of non-watered down white there, just in a second to just get the last of the sort of patchy bits out. Excuse me, there's still little bits of transparency. Oh, excuse me, again, transparency here and there. I've got like about 1 million rogue bristles. Sort it out. Thank you. Now the little bit of overspill down at the bottom is going to help with making it look like there's a bit of glow going around the outside, but I don't want to do that too much. From some of the things that I remember on some of the tutorials, as I make heavily washed or watered down with medium colours, I use that medium to spill over onto the sort of the gunmetal area or the wood area, wherever I want it to go, and that kind of gives it a bit of a glow. If I start adding a bit of white around here, it's going to be really intense, and I want the intensity, I think, in the white zone. So yeah, that's why I'm not doing too much overspill with white at the moment. Now that might be not the best way to go. Maybe I do want lots of white overspill. If I'm quite honest, I wasn't really expecting to get to this part today, but here I am. Now it might be that after the show I go and watch some tutorials and I go like, oh no, she definitely gets some white overspill in there, and then I come back and have to, you know, deliberately ruin what I've done. But what would be more annoying is the fact that I spent all this time trying to be really neat and careful when it turns out I didn't need to be. Those little capsule things are going to take a couple of coats, but I'm not bothered about that at all, because actually it's not taken an awful lot of time to get to that level of opacity on both of those guns. I'm going to leave those to dry for a little bit, and I might just have a quick pass over on some of the purity seals and just kind of bring those details up to speed. So what I'm going to do, because I put Screaming Skull on them, which is this off-white here from Games Workshop, I'm going, then I put Seraphim Sepia as a wash over it. It's really browned them down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a little bit of bone white just to sort of highlight the edges of them. It is noticeably paler than Screaming Skull, not maybe on my bleached out lights there, but there is a difference between the two. So in my very OCD mind, this is a good highlight colour for that. So what I just do is give that a bit of a shake. I'll get mental with it. I'm just going to pop a little bit of that down here. I've got a bit of a clog. I've got a blockage. Oh no, calamity. There we go. Solved. Oh no, I do actually have a proper little blockage going on there. Where's my pokey thing? I've got a pokey tool here somewhere. There it is. Pokey tool. Do it right beside the miniature so that when I plunge in, it sprays everywhere. Gotcha. There we go. Now I'm essentially doing what I would have used to have, the technique you would have done in the past would have been dry brushing, but that's not really what I want to do here. I just want to go in with a slight edge highlight. I don't want it to be over the top, so I just get wet paint rather than dry brush paint, and I just kind of essentially go in making it a semi-dry brush, I suppose, just rubbing it off here on the side of my hand. All that paint is just a bit too much. So it kind of is a dry brush, like a dry edge highlight, the semi-dry highlight. And what I do is, if there's an intense area of the sepia, is I can come in and just sort of thin that down. But I'm just picking out edges of the seal itself, especially the back page there, where I've got that little, where I said earlier on, I like the Seraphim Sepia to kind of define the two sheets separately, like a little line in there, and then by edge highlighting it really helps pick that out. Yeah, that worked really well. Come back to the arc rifle guy. He's got one on the inside of his cloak. Has he got any others? Purity seals can be a pain in the backside. Trying to find. Like, if you miss one, they're so obvious. One of the reasons I don't like dry brushing so much is it can look quite chalky when it goes on. But I've recently learned through Artis Opus that's because you don't necessarily want to have a dry brush. That's actually just the technical name for it. But actually you do want there to be some moisture in the brush. I've said this before on like recent shows. You should have some moisture in the brush. It's not true to its name. So yeah, having moisture in the paint, like what I was trying to get a minute ago, is where you want to be with it. And you probably just saw or heard me there licking the bristles, just having a bit of moisture into the paint. Not the nicest taste to have on your tongue, but they are non-toxic paints. So this is the purity seal that I was having trouble trying to get the stain on earlier on. It's quite important to get that stain situated in the right place, because I take the details, I take that stain back and you know, allow you to see the details. I show them up using this process now. So if I wasn't able to get that sepia colour in there earlier, this would have been kind of a pointless adventure. Not the best purity seal in the world, but better than nothing. Plasma gun guy doesn't have any purity seals on him because, yeah, he's probably going to die using a plasma gun anyway, so don't give him the expensive stuff. And this guy's got one just down here. This is my concentration voice. We've all heard it. You know when Danny's concentrating because he shuts up. Okay, cool, happy with that. We are pretty much at the end of the show as well, so we probably should be moving on from here. We're a few minutes past the end of the show. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a little pass with some red on those purity seals, get those little rosettes done, and then we're pretty much good to go. So I'm just going to get that set up, and then I'll probably end the show at that point. So yeah, if you want to see me carrying on, I am going to be over on Discord at the Easy 8 After Party. Do feel free to come and join me. I was getting so into what I was doing there, wasn't keeping an eye on the time, but that's okay. I'm using Vallejo Air Bloody Red. It's a really classic bright red, and it is really good for picking out rosettes and things like that, especially on a smorgasbord of warm colours like oranges and things. It does take a coat or two to really sort of set it off against all the other colours in there. But because when I painted all these purity seals, I painted the rosettes with the white colour as well, the off-white colour, it gives it a good base background to put it on. So ever so quickly, just flying around them all now. And this bloody red does look quite orange when you first put the first coat on. So I found that it's quite important to at least give a second coat in there, because I don't want it to be orange, too much orange on there. Where's this, guys? There it is, right in there. And then I can come in and use whatever colour I want to stain it. It is worth doing a stain, because they do have a little bit of detail in them. They have a depressed centre. Not like, Eeyore. Nobody loves me, depressed. The edges are raised, which means that there's like a little groove or recess for a darker colour to sit in, and that will pick the detail up quite well. I haven't done a good job on this purity seal in here at all, because the outside edge is still silver, so I didn't paint that very well. I have learned a lot painting this set of miniatures, and I just hope that I remember all the lessons when it comes around to painting the next batch. Because I think what I should do is kind of do what Luke said, and that is to start timing myself, or giving myself a certain amount of time to do certain things in. And you know, if you don't achieve it within that time, maybe don't continue. Maybe. Depends on what the actual job is, I suppose. But I'm going to see if I can do like all 10 at the same time, because I've done these in 2 batches of 5 while I was learning what I was doing, and I think it's time to be a big boy and grow up a little bit. Anyway, look, I'm almost finished on them, so what have I got left to do? Probably pick out some of the gold details on them, because they were kind of flattened down a little bit by putting the Seraphim sepia on them. That was fine, that's expected, and it doesn't take a second to go around and do that. I could probably do that tonight. I need to do their glowy eyes, which is literally just putting some of this white in there, and then dropping in a watered down ultramarine blue into them. It worked really well. I did it the last time I did them. I was really happy with that very quick effect. For such a small detail, it's really effective. And then it is literally just doing the glowy effects on them. I do have no, not on the back there, on the front, I do have the little machinist, is it the machine opus, the little symbol that is for Adeptus Mechanicus. Oops, just destroy everything. On his chest here you can see that I painted half black, half white. They're actually really difficult to paint, but again shouldn't be too difficult. I would just go in, paint the whole thing white, and then just do half and half black, so it should be a very easy job to do. And then just doing little scrawly bits of text and stuff on their purity seals. Not a lot of work to do left on them. It's the glowy effects on the weapons, these 2 weapons here, that I'm really looking forward to doing. I am going to take myself over to Discord in just a few minutes. I'm probably going to go say hello to my partner. Says she's not feeling very well, so if you want to come and join me over there, you can. I can be up a little bit later than I normally do, because normally I'm not on Discord for very long because it's been so mental at work, but I'm not doing the early shift tomorrow, so I can be on for a little bit longer this evening. So yeah, that's where I am at. I feel like I've made a lot of progress today. I feel like I've kind of caught up. I feel bad that I've been doing nothing but these miniatures for a while, and feeling like I kind of left you guys just watching me paint the same stuff day in, day out. But this show is all about that. It's all about just finding the time to get on with all of this stuff, just work your way through. I'm finding as I kind of get older that I have a certain element of OCD, which seems to come in hand with ADD or ADHD. And I've been spending a little bit of time recently for the benefit of my work, kind of like trying to get an assessment on my sort of, not my mental health, but on my on whether I do have ADHD. I seem to have all the telltale signs of it, and as I'm starting to work alongside my colleagues very closely, some of them are going like, you do have OCD, and that might be one of the reasons why I struggle to get miniatures painted quickly, why sometimes I struggle to develop in my technical skills, because I'm so entrenched in the way that I do it, and like I paint in a very set way, and I have to kind of carry on doing that. But I also find that it kind of gives me some sort of focus, which is really important for the ADD side or the ADHD. I'm wondering if I have the H. Do I have hyperactivity? I can be hyper, but I think everybody can. I'm not always hyper. Right now I'm quite calm, but I find it very difficult to sit and focus for a very long period of time and get things done. Even when I'm painting, I'm moving around and I'm not focusing on the same thing. So this is helping me become a better person and I'm trying to make it work for me, at the same time trying to not let it hold me back. So if anyone's got any tips on that, then I would be really Chris is saying welcome to the club, it's terrible. Yeah, I don't have OCD. I think I just have elements of it. Like OCD as an affliction is a terrible thing. It ruins people's lives, and I don't have that, and it would be remiss of me to compare myself even remotely to it. But there are elements that I think hold me back in my technical ability. So if anyone's got any tips or kind of like advice, maybe they've struggled themselves, or maybe they've just kind of been able to study the way in which they've progressed, I'm all ears. I would love to know your advice, your tips, your anything. Help me out, man, because I want to get better. I want to get better and faster, and I feel that those two at the moment for me, like, it's either one or the other, and they can't both go together. So let's see how that goes. Anyway, thank you very much for coming back and joining me on this Friday evening. I am looking to be set for Fridays for the long-term future again. It was just the last couple of weeks, but like I say, if it does change, then I will let you know all in advance. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to spend more time doing the hobby that I really enjoy doing, and not working so much, because it's just mental. Anyway, I hope you guys have had a good evening. You should definitely go and check out all the links down there in the description for the show. So you guys should go and check out Blightforge Miniatures. You should go and check out Purple Lion Creations. You should go and check out Charlie Foxtrot Models. You should definitely go and check out John over at Out of This World Models and Minis. Man, there's so many things down there. Go and check them out, and let me know what's happening in your miniature life over in Facebook. Remember, we're not just here on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Discord, and if you like what we do, please like, follow, share and subscribe, because it really helps me grow this channel and just encourages me and enthuses me. You know the score. Just hit the subscribe button. Just go and tell people, just go subscribe, just do it, and change your paint water. Oh, no, that's for the intermission, don't say it here. Anyway, I've had a lovely evening. Thank you very much for your company, and I'll see you again next week. Until then, stay safe, be kind, and keep on painting. See you next time. Cheers now. Bye-bye. Glowy, glowy guns. Pew, pew.